There is a truth so powerful, so absolute, that once you understand it, your entire life will begin to bend in your favor. You always get what you visualize. And not after years, not after a lifetime, but in just 3 days if you truly believe. This isn't superstition. This is universal law. The mind is not a passive observer, it is a creator. Whatever you see in the theater of your imagination with emotion and conviction must become real. It is not a question of if, it's a question of when. And 3 days is more than enough, because the moment you visualize with certainty, you initiate movement. Invisible currents begin to flow. People shift. Circumstances realign. Paths you never noticed open up. It may look like nothing is happening on the surface, but below, the universe is roaring into action. The scene is silent. The unseen is working. So what do you do in those 3 days? You hold the vision. You rehearse the outcome. Not like it's a dream, but like it's already done. You feel it in your bones. You walk like it. You talk like it. You breathe like someone who already has what they asked for. You stop doubting. You stop checking. You stop asking when, because it is done. People often say, be realistic, but reality is fluid. Reality is a reflection. It mirrors your dominant belief. If your belief says it takes months or years, then it will. But if your belief says 3 days is enough, then 3 days is all it takes. Your job is not to figure out the how. Your job is to see the end and rest in it. You want the money? Visualize already holding it. Count it. Spend it in your mind. Feel the weight of financial freedom. Do it until your body believes it's real. Want love? See their smile. Hear their voice. Live in the moment that they're already yours. Want success? Stand on the stage. Hear the applause. Shake the hands. Sign the deals. Let it burn into your imagination. And when doubts come, and they will, you do not panic. You do not fight. You return to the vision. Again and again, you keep choosing the end even when the middle looks messy. Why? Because you know what's coming. You know its law. You know the picture you see in your mind is the order slip you've just sent to the universe. And 3 days is delivery time. This isn't magic. It's alignment. The universe doesn't give you what you beg for, it gives you what you feel to be true. The moment your desire and your assumption match, manifestation becomes inevitable. You are the operant power. You are not at the mercy of chance. You don't wait for life to change, you command it to. With your thoughts, with your feelings, with your inner certainty. Say it to yourself, I always get what I visualize. Say it until your doubts dissolve. Say it until your body believes. Say it until reality has no choice but to obey. Not in months, not in years, but in 3 days. Because when you see the end clearly and you live from it fearlessly, it must show up. The universe cannot resist a focused, unshakable mind. You don't chase, you attract. You don't wish, you know. You don't wait, you assume. And so it is. What you hold in your imagination with deep feeling becomes your truth. The moment you close your eyes and step into the version of you that already has the desire, you start changing the world around you. You don't need evidence, you are the evidence. You don't need signs, you are the signal. Your vision is more than a daydream, it is a declaration. Each time you revisit it, you give it life. You energize the unseen and instruct the physical to obey. There is no power outside of you that is stronger than the one within. And when you use it with confidence, the world bends. The unseen rearranges to form the exact scene you've rehearsed in your mind. Life doesn't happen to you, it happens through you. When you visualize with clarity and feeling, reality has no choice but to catch up. This is how you win, by seeing the end before the beginning even starts. There's no force greater than a person who knows what's coming. And what's coming is what you see now behind your closed eyes. The moment your mind sees the outcome clearly, your inner timer starts. You've made a cosmic agreement. You're no longer guessing, you're receiving. Those 3 days aren't about hoping. They're about holding. Holding the image so strongly that the outer world scrambles to match it. Time bends for belief. Space rearranges itself for assumption. And if you can keep your mind fixed for those 72 hours, what was invisible will become tangible. That's not a maybe, that's a law. Most people break their focus and delay the miracle, but not you. You understand the power of consistency. You understand the weight of your assumption. You know that 3 days is not a deadline, it's a demonstration of your ability to remain unmoved, unbothered, unshaken. The moment you see the result and feel it as real, the countdown begins, and nothing can stop it except your own doubt. Life reflects you, not your effort, but your expectation. It's not about grinding harder. It's about believing deeper. What you expect, you attract. What you assume, you command. Your outer life is a mirror, showing you the movie you play in your mind on repeat. It doesn't care what's true, it only reflects what you believe to be true. So if you believe it takes 3 days, that becomes the law of your world. The key is not the external, never has been. It's the script running in your thoughts, the scenes playing in your inner theater. Edit them wisely. Speak only of the outcome. Think only of the result. Every doubt you entertain fogs the mirror. Every belief you hold polishes it. You're not a victim of circumstance. You're the author. And the more deliberately you write your story inside, the more effortlessly it unfolds outside. When you hold an inner image with absolute certainty, everything begins to shift. But the shift doesn't start out there, it begins in you. The moment you choose the end as if it's already done, it's a power. Power that doesn't need validation. Power that doesn't ask for signs. You're not waiting to believe you believe, and then it shows up. 3 days is not a test, it's a timeline of alignment. Stay focused. Stay faithful. Don't blink. The world may look unchanged, but underneath, mountains are moving. Doors are unlocking. People are receiving thoughts about you. Opportunities are being prepared for you. All because you dared to stay firm in the vision. Not because you forced anything, but because you aligned everything. The vision didn't just live in your mind, it lived in your energy. And that energy summoned a response. When you operate from the end, you don't chase, you attract. You don't look around in desperation. You look within in certainty, because it's already done. The game is mental, and you've already won it by seeing the result first. Now you rest not in passivity, but in power. The kind of rest that moves mountains without lifting a finger. You act as the version of you who has it now. You speak like them, walk like them, think like them, and soon you become them. It doesn't take effort, it takes embodiment. When you live from the end, the path appears. People show up. Ideas strike, and the impossible begins to look natural. You're not making things happen, you're allowing what's already done to reach you. You've stopped asking for proof. You are the proof. 3 days is all it takes for someone who lives in the reality they've owned. Your imagination is not a tool, it's a portal. When you use it with feeling, you don't fantasize, you create. See the thing you want, and step into it as if it's already yours. Don't ask if it's possible. Make it normal in your inner world. Talk to yourself like you already have it. React in your mind as if it's here. That's how it becomes familiar. And what becomes familiar must manifest. Don't wait for results, live in them. Smell the air of success. Taste the moment of arrival. Breathe in the life you've been pretending to wait for. In truth, it's waiting for you. It's waiting for you to accept it as already yours. That acceptance is magnetic. That belief is irresistible. And when you do it purely, when your heart and mind are aligned, you collapse time. You no longer hope, you know. You no longer ask, you receive. The universe responds to emotional conviction, not casual wishing. The deeper you feel the result in your imagination, the quicker it manifests. Thought without feeling is hollow, but when thought is saturated with emotion, it becomes a command. Let your heart beat in rhythm with your vision. Let your body react as if the manifestation has already arrived. That's when reality has to obey, because reality is not solid, it's flexible, and it molds itself around your dominant vibration. Feel the joy now, feel the relief now, feel the satisfaction now. Those feelings are your proof. They are not the result, they are the cause. You are not playing pretend, you are playing creator. And as the creator, once the feeling is installed, the result is inevitable. Give yourself permission to feel it now and watch what happens next. Let go of how it will come. That's not your concern. Your job is not to orchestrate every detail, it's to hold the end so clearly that the details handle themselves. Don't shrink your vision to match your logic. Expand your belief to match your desire. The how is where most people lose power. They start to calculate and panic. But you trust. You trust that your vision sets the blueprint and the unseen handles the building. You don't need to know how the call will come or how the opportunity will present itself. You just need to know it will. That's faith. That's surrender. And that surrender is power. It says, I don't control the path, but I know the destination. And because you know the end, the middle shows up. The right steps reveal themselves, and everything starts to move in your favor. You don't get what you want, you get what you believe is already yours. Desire without belief is empty. It's noise. But belief is a magnet. It says to the universe, this belongs to me. And when you carry yourself with that energy, everything around you begins to shift. You stop chasing, you start receiving. The world feels your certainty and responds to it. People respect it. Opportunities recognize it. Outcomes obey it. That belief isn't arrogance, it's alignment. You've seen the end, you've felt the moment. You've lived the reality in your imagination so deeply that your body no longer knows the difference. And that's the secret. When your inner world treats it as done, the outer world must comply. Not by force, but by law. 3 days is all it takes for belief to become fact. If you can hold the vision for 3 days, you've done more than most people will do in a lifetime. Not because it's hard, but because it requires strength of focus. The world will try to distract you. Reality will tempt you to waver. But those 3 days are sacred. They are your proof to yourself that you don't need the world's approval. You only need your own belief. Keep choosing the end result. Keep feeling it. Keep walking in it. You don't speak about if you speak about when and then now. Every moment you hold firm, the manifestation draws nearer. It doesn't need effort. It needs endurance. Endure in belief. Endure in imagination. Endure in certainty. And at the end of those 3 days, you will look back and realize it wasn't a dream. It was always yours. Every thought you hold with intensity becomes a command sent into the field of reality. The language of the universe is not spoken in words, but in pictures charged with certainty. Every time you visualize the end and feel it to be real, you're submitting a request that must be fulfilled. There's no need to repeat the order. You simply need to trust that it's been received. That vision is now in process, already unfolding in places you cannot yet see. Like a seed buried in soil, your imagination does its work in silence. But when you keep watering it with focus and faith, something grows, something undeniable. You don't dig up the roots to check on them. You trust the process. You protect the picture. You nurture the feeling. You let nothing distract you from the truth you've seen. And by the 3rd day, you won't need confirmation. You'll feel the shift in your bones. You'll sense the nearness of what once felt distant, because you didn't just wish, you envisioned. And the universe obeys those who know what they've asked for is already done. There's a silence inside you that's more powerful than any noise outside. When you center yourself in your knowing, the opinions of others become irrelevant. You don't need their validation. You don't need their agreement. You've seen what they haven't. You felt what they can't. And because of that, you move differently. You don't announce your desires, you embody them. You don't argue for your dreams, you live from them. In those 3 days of inner work, you learn to detach from the world and attach to your vision. And that shift creates power, pure, undiluted power. It's not loud, it's not desperate. It's calm, it's still, it's unstoppable. Because nothing is more magnetic than a mind made up. You don't look for signs, you become the signal. You don't try to prove it, proves itself through you. You've chosen the result, and now the world must rearrange to deliver it. The clearer the picture you hold, the faster your life molds around it. Vague thoughts bring vague results, but sharp vision creates sharp outcomes. So you must see it clearly, vividly, unshakably. Don't just imagine the goal, imagine the moment after you've reached it. Imagine the quiet confidence. Imagine the sense of peace. Imagine the reality of already being there. Let your heart beat to the rhythm of that new life. Let your actions reflect someone who knows it's already theirs. That clarity is power. That certainty is force. It magnetizes people, resources, and timing to serve your outcome. You are not guessing, you are remembering. You are not hoping, you are confirming. Your clarity makes you rare. And in a world full of noise, those who carry inner precision are the ones who rise, visualize without fog, believe without pause, and life will rush to meet the image you held with unwavering conviction. When the world shows you something contrary to your vision, that is not a sign to surrender, it's a test to ascend. Most give up when things look unchanged, but the unseen always precedes the seen. Those first 3 days are often when doubt comes hardest. But those 3 days are also when faith works fastest. It's not about ignoring reality. It's about imposing your inner truth onto it. When you stay loyal to your vision during chaos, you pass the test. You anchor your future by refusing to negotiate your belief. You stare down the illusion and say, "This is not my truth." And the illusion must eventually collapse, because nothing stands longer than a mind anchored in certainty. When you hold the image long enough, life bends. It doesn't argue, it adjusts. It doesn't fight, it conforms. And then it happens, the shift, the breakthrough, the arrival, not because of effort, but because of endurance and belief. Your inner world is your only assignment. The outer world will follow. You don't need to fix the environment, you only need to fix the lens you're seeing through. When you shift your assumptions, you shift everything. What once looked impossible becomes expected. What once felt far becomes normal. The difference isn't in the world, it's in you. So you train your mind like a sculptor. You shape your thoughts like clay. You breathe life into what you desire with daily focus. You rehearse the win. You walk through the door before it opens. You feel the freedom before it arrives. And by doing so, you stop time from dragging, you compress it. You fold reality to meet your expectation. Those 3 days are not passive, they are potent. That's when the invisible builds momentum. That's when your life listens most closely. Speak only what you want. See only what you seek. And it shall be.